Tonight, we look at a divide that has redefined the American landscape. It is a chasm that often feels wider and deeper than any political disagreement in recent memory. The source of this rift, a figure who inspires both fervent loyalty and fierce opposition, is Donald J. Trump. To understand the United States today, on this day, October 22, 2025, one must first grapple with the conflicting realities he represents to tens of millions of people. It is a story not just of politics, but of identity, trust, and two fundamentally different visions for what this country should be. The division is not an illusion, it is a stark and measurable feature of our national life. The numbers themselves tell a dramatic story of a nation split down the middle. To comprehend the unwavering support for Donald Trump, one must first listen to the voices of those who feel left behind by the modern American economy. For decades, millions in the industrial heartland watched as factories closed, jobs moved overseas, leaving behind communities hollowed out by economic despair. They heard promises from traditional politicians, Republican, Democrat, but saw little change in their own fortunes. Into this vacuum stepped Donald Trump, a billionaire businessman. He spoke not in the polished language of Washington, but in the blunt terms of a boss who promised to get things done. His message, "Make America Great Again," was a powerful pledge to restore jobs, to restore pride, to restore purpose to these forgotten towns. A key pillar of his appeal was economic nationalism. He tore up deals he called unfair, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and renegotiated others, NAFTA. He imposed tariffs on foreign goods, focused especially on China, framed as a fight to protect American workers and industries. For his supporters, these were bold, overdue corrections. A factory worker in Ohio, a small business owner in Pennsylvania, might say, "He's the first one who actually fought for us." They point to low unemployment rates, gains for minority groups achieved before the pandemic, and see it as proof his policies helped the common person, not just Wall Street. On the other side of this deep national divide stand millions of Americans who view Donald Trump not as a savior, but as a grave danger to the republic. For these individuals, the opposition is not simply policy. It is a defense of the rule of law and the integrity of facts. They argue that character and respect for norms are essential guardrails of democracy. His attacks on a Gold Star family, his mocking of a disabled reporter, his coarse language were seen as disqualifying breaches of decorum. A central concern is truth. Critics cite a documented pattern of false or misleading statements, from inauguration crowd size to claims of widespread election fraud. Journalists, fact-checkers, and intelligence agencies were at times labeled enemies when they contradicted his narrative. A critic might state, "When a leader consistently attacks the truth, he is attacking the very foundation of accountability." Opponents cite disregard for institutional independence, firing James Comey, criticizing judges, pressuring the Department of Justice. They feared turning public institutions into tools against enemies, undermining checks and balances. Concerns extended to moral standing and protection of minority rights, harsh immigration language, and family separations viewed as a betrayal of American values. Many women, people of color, and LGBTQ+ communities felt targeted and alienated. They see the presidency as moral leadership, words that can unite or divide, heal or harm. The division cannot be understood without social media. Platforms rewired how information spreads, giving leaders a direct, unfiltered channel to dominate narratives and speak to their base. Echo chambers and filter bubbles reinforce beliefs. False narratives, conspiracy theories, and manipulated content can go viral before fact-checkers intervene. Outrage and tribal loyalty are rewarded. Scoring points replaces good faith debate. 2016 hardened lines. One America saw crisis, another saw revolution. In 2020, challenges to legitimacy escalated despite court rejections. It culminated on January 6, 2021, a day that exposed the fragility of American democracy. Even that day was seen through divergent lenses. Insurrection to some, a protest gone too far to others. The conflict invaded everyday life. straining families, friendships, and workplaces. The conflict surrounding Donald Trump is a symptom of broader forces: economic anxiety, cultural change, and collapsing trust. His supporters see a champion for the forgotten. His opponents see violated democratic norms. Healing will not be simple or quick. The path forward begins locally. Talk with curiosity, listen to understand, practice media literacy, and step outside our bubbles. Working together on tangible problems rebuilds trust and reminds us we are neighbors before we are rivals. The future depends not on total agreement, but on our willingness to talk, to listen, and to rediscover common ground.